Hi guys and welcome to another episode of the workknits podcast. Thank you for those of you who have waited an extra week for this to come out. I need to just stop committing to certain schedules. It feels like the minute I say, right, I'm going to do this for this amount of time, something gets in the way. But anyway, please forgive me. Thank you for coming back and touching base with me. This is going to be a really nice quick video today. Just saying hi, just updating on a couple of projects, a couple of life things, which are the reasons behind slightly sporadic episodes at the moment. Yeah, welcome. I've just clocked I have sunglasses on still. Sorry, not the usual look, but actually it's kind of holding my hair out of the way, so we will roll with it. So grab yourself a quick drink, a snack, whatever you're making, and let's get stuck in. So, I thought I was going to have a finished object for you this week, but there's a little story behind this. She says something catches in her throat. So I needed to jump on a train, walk from a station to somewhere yesterday, and I got caught in the biggest downpour ever, and I had my knitting with me. So my knitting got completely drenched. The balls of yarn are like soaked through to their core. I've had to wind one of them back into a skein and then like hang it out to dry. That's how wet it is. This one is still very, very wet. But what it means is I couldn't really finish this project because what I don't want is for some bits to be knit when the yarn is dry and some bits to be knit when it's wet because they'll come out at different tensions. And the other thing I really wanted to have shown you was the neckline. And again, I can't really add that on whilst it's wet because it will just look really odd when it's dried. What am I talking about? Well, last episode I spoke a little bit, I think, about some projects I wanted to cast on. I spoke about the coffee cardigan. Please excuse the fact I can't remember who that's by. The lily top by Mochi or Moki Knits. I said I still wanted to cast on a Strange Brew steeked cardigan, which I still do. But in the last week or so, I finally cast on the lily top by Moki Knits or Mochi Knits. Which is a beautiful pattern. I have actually dyed some yarn that was in my shop. I've been looking at it for ages though and loving it. It was kind of, an accident's not quite the right word, but like I had actually got a view to kind of develop it more into another colour and then like the original, the base dye, because I tend to layer my dyeing. The base dye, I just loved it. So it's been in my shop as rose gold. There was 3 skeins on DK weight. This pattern actually calls for Aran weight yarn, but I figured it's knit at a really loose gauge and this would be really nice and drapey. So I'm knitting, I think, the 4th size, which she calls a large, which is a 98 centimetre bust circumference. She calls for maybe like 4 centimetres of positive ease. So not huge amounts of ease in this. Now the neckline's going to look enormous because when you add the ribbing around it, it really draws everything in, and that's what happened with the armholes. The armholes are about this big and they've really shrunk up. So that's the back. There we go. This is where I'm up to. So I have added on the armholes on both sides. Managed to do that before it got soaking wet. So you knit the back panels separately. I'm not showing this particularly well. Back panels separately and then pick up for the front, send some nice diagonal shaping on the shoulders. The back edges are a beautiful slip stitch edge because then essentially the back is tied up with little I-cord bows, which I think is going to look really cute. And then it's very simple at the front. As I say, I still need to pick up the neckline, which will really cinch the neckline in. My joins of different bits of yarn are not particularly secure at the moment. But yeah, I love the colour. So as I said, this is in rose gold in my hand-dyed yarn. I've done this on my smooth DK base. And yeah, I think I didn't gauge swatch. So I've just gone on the recommended needle sizes and I figured, if anything, if my gauge was a little bit tight, this would actually produce a nicer fabric. So I was quite happy to take the risk. I think this is going to block out nice and loose, so I think I'll end up with a little bit more ease than intended. But as I say, this neckline will come in a lot more with the ribbing. So it's looking like I'm on track to make this top in under 150 grams of DK weight yarn. 6mm needles for the main stockinette fabric, which is really lovely and drapey, and then 5mm needles for the ribbing, and I think they ask for 4 or 4.5 for the I-cord. So huge progress on this. This literally would have been done. I think I cast this on 2 days ago, and I've knit like a couple of inches on the body. I would have easily finished this last night if this hadn't been wet. So some really good progress on that. Love the colour, love, love, love. It's very similar to the original sample. Yeah, I just need this ball of yarn and the other one to dry out so that I can get cracking on that. But I'm really excited. Nice to have a new project on the needles, because other than that, guys, I'm just, oh my goodness, my needle has been absolutely destroyed. I'll explain that later. Other than that, it's mainly progress on projects you guys have seen, but some decent progress. So my summer top, asymmetric summer top design has progressed more. I have now knit the full bust band tube, and I have crochet seamed the ends together on both ends. So this is now looking really good. I know it still doesn't really look like a top, but this will go like this with a bit of negative ease. And then I have started knitting on the second band that will also go around the front, but then will go around one arm. And I have knit this much. This is being knit up on some 2.5 millimeter needles, sorry, basically sock needles. And it's knitted in Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colourway Olive. And I think I used 2 balls for this, and then I'm hoping to use just 1 ball for this band. And then once I've done those 2 bands, it really should start to come together quite quickly. So I will hopefully talk a little bit more about that next week. But I'm liking the progression of this now. I feel like I'm on a bit of a roll. I just put this on the needles at the last weekend, and I haven't picked it up massively. As I say, I have not done huge amounts of knitting in the last couple of weeks, and I will come to that very shortly. So some progress on that. A little reminder of where I was up to on my Maggie cardigan. I actually really want this done probably in about a week's time, a week and a bit's time. I really want this done. So I'm literally just knitting down the body now. I've knit both the sleeves, and I'm just knitting down the body. Done a decent amount. Probably want to put another kind of couple of inches onto the body and then do a nice deep rib. I kind of want this to sit just long of my waist, so that when I'm wearing high-waisted things, it just overlaps. So not that much further on the body, but this is knit on 3.5 millimeter needles with 2 strands of cobweb weight yarn from Knoll Yarns in the colourway Almond, held then with a strand of, this is like a baby yak silk alpaca merino blend from Zakami. So I'm holding 3 strands together, so it's not the most portable project. Again, probably a reason why not had that much progress. But yeah, I just need to knit down the body, and then it's rib on the bottom, and then it's just the button band / neck band going all the way around the front. I've already bought some really cute buttons for it, so yeah, really excited. So not masses of work done on that, but as I say, just an indication of progress. And to be honest, guys, that is all I have to update you on. I haven't done any spinning in the last 2 weeks. I haven't picked up my Big Love cardigan. That is on my mind though. Obviously I got 2 quite big whips off the needles in the last episode 2 weeks ago. I got my Chroma sweater by Jacqueline Sea Slack off the needles, loving that. And I also finished that slip over version of the terracotta sweater by Knit or Leanie Holm Sandstone. So we've definitely had some progress on projects, but it's been a slow knitting 2 weeks, and let me give you a very brief update on why, and a quick update on when I'm next going to have more stuff in my yarn shop, or like online store words, more hand-dyed yarn, and a little update on Advents. Let's have a little update section. So hopefully you guys will stick around for that. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. Quickly on the more knitting related stuff, so yarn dyeing, I am planning another big batch of dyeing in kind of mid-September, early September. It'd be really good to know from you guys if there are some particular colours you'd like to see me add to my collection. I am thinking of bringing in some speckles. Do also let me know if you guys would be interested in some more like mini sets. Basically I've got real like opportunity here to start kind of innovating a bit with what I'm doing in the shop, so let me know what you'd like to see. If there is anything in terms of like notions and stuff you'd be interested in, I have been looking at kind of a couple of notions providers and what I can do there. So yeah, let me know, because I really want to make that a really useful space to all of you. I am going to be gearing up to start dyeing my Advent in September. I'm going to keep my Advent window open until the end of September, the last working day of September. But if you are interested in getting an advent, I've got lots of options up. I think I have 5 different advent options, hopefully some more affordable options. And if you are thinking of getting one, even if you're not ready to order, please do drop me a note on Instagram. It will just help me make sure that I can keep the advents open as long as possible, but also allows me to order in bases, etc., so that I have all that sorted. So it's kind of hopefully the best of both worlds. So yeah, that's the little update there. And in terms of what else is going on and why I've been a bit slow on the knitting, I've been very absent over on Instagram. So lots of exciting stuff happening here. One thing that was kind of unexpected but just has worked out quite well timing wise, we have just got another little kitten. So we now have 2 cats. But as anyone who's had more than one pet and has gone through the kind of introduction process, not only are kittens very time intensive because you can't leave them on their own for very long, but also the introduction process is, I mean, it's good now, but it didn't go the most smoothly to begin with. So that's been taking up lots of my time. I will try and insert a picture here of Agnes. We call her Aggie. So we have Agnes and Beatrice. So that's been really nice. And the idea is that Agnes will give Bea a bit more company when I'm going back to commuting again. I am going back into a full-time job. I'm going back into the corporate world, which I'm really excited about. I will maybe share a little bit further down the line kind of thought process behind that, but I want to kind of reassure you I'm keeping the yarn company going. I'm not letting go of that. I've kind of slightly stepped away from designing anyway over the last few months. It's just not a process I've realised I enjoy quite as much. I really love modifying other people's patterns, and I think because I was enjoying that so much and people were asking me how I was doing stuff, I was then kind of tempted to, well, that's how I started then designing stuff, because I was kind of doodling stuff for myself. But I think the pressure of putting kind of the time into the designs, etc., and then, you know, you just don't know how they're going to be received. It's a big upfront commitment, and I just didn't find I enjoyed it as much. So I've got the designs I've already got are out. Maybe if there's one that I kind of doodle, maybe I will do them a bit more informally, without testers and things like that, and just kind of, you know, maybe either on a free basis or even more affordable than I currently do. But yeah, designing, it's going to take a bit of a back seat. Home renovation is coming to an end. I haven't been able to film as much of that as I wanted, just because it's not happened in kind of the consistent way we'd hoped. But yes, I've really enjoyed this period, kind of exploring multiple different projects, ventures. It's been really exciting and actually way more successful than I thought. But it feels like a good time for me to head back into the corporate world, and I think it's the right time in terms of what's happening more broadly in our lives. So that's big news, and that is happening very soon. And then in line with that, we are also moving. So all of this has been kind of coming to fruition over the last couple of weeks, so that is why I have been a little bit absent. But thank you for your patience. I'm really looking forward to being able to kind of update you guys more over the next few weeks. There might be a bit of a change of location over the next few weeks. Please keep everything crossed for me that all these different things happen in the timeline that they're meant to. And we will go from there. But I'm really looking forward to being a little bit more settled, kind of knowing that's what I'm going to be in X place for X amount of time. I think it's been quite an unsettled year, kind of knowing what even the next few months would look like at any one point, and I think that's really impacted my knitting. It's really impacted my being able to consistently show up for you guys on here and on Instagram in the way that I want to. It's kind of killed my creativity a little bit, so I'm really looking forward to being a bit more settled, and hopefully then I can really, you know, at the weekends really focus on my knitting and enjoy it. So there we go, guys, that is me. As always, I really hope you've been well. Thank you for checking in with me. It's a quick one today, but I really look forward to speaking to you again next week. Hopefully we'll have some more finished projects. I'm really looking forward to doing a bit of a photo shoot of lots of my finished objects that I've had recently, getting those out to you guys so you can kind of see how I'm wearing them, how I'm styling them. And yeah, I just wish you a really, really good next week, a lovely weekend, and I'll speak to you very soon.